Hey guys, getting an early start this morning. It's about a quarter after 6, so just before sunrise. I'm just needing to reset my sleep schedule because I'm not even tired yet. I've been up all night. Before I knew it, it was like 2:30. I was just chatting with some friends online. I look over, I'm like, oh my god, it's almost 3. I gotta go to bed. And then started some other projects and talking with some other people. And I look down, oh my god, it's almost 5. So, you know what? Not even close to being tired. So just staying up, I'll reset, go to sleep tonight on a regular schedule. It's not that I mind being up, but being off of a day shift schedule, I can't get a lot of work done because my clients are up during the day. It's different when you're just doing a job where it doesn't matter how much you interact with your clients, but obviously that's very important to me. So I do try to stay on a day shift. I don't mind going to sleep at midnight, 1, maybe 2. That's fine because I can still be up 8, 9, ready to work, and clients are just rolling into their jobs, so that's no big deal. But can't be doing this go to sleep at 6 o'clock, up at 2 in the afternoon thing on a weekday. So enough of the fun for the weekend. Back to the grind here. Uh, got some more stuff nailed down on the system. I'm out doing a cigar video right now. I got to do a couple of those today and catch back up. But I got more of the settings nailed down this morning for the new system. Really digging all the new control features that are all built in. And it turns out that all of my components talk to each other. Really relieved because there's no guarantee when you mix and match brands what's going to happen, but everything works perfectly. Right now, long story short, it's going to be pretty much the same way I had my old system. I'm still going to need 3 remotes, but only one function for 2 of those remotes. So it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to be juggling stuff back and forth. Basically, to turn on the system, I'll be using the receiver remote, and I'll be using that probably the most. It has 4 basically like memory setting buttons where you can program in your input, your digital manipulation if you want any. I have that off. I just want a straight surround system or straight surround signal. Whether your devices are on or off. So you just press this one button, it turns on the receiver, puts it to the right input, turns on the external device like the Blu-ray player or the cable box or whatever, turns on the TV, and everything's set just with one button. So that's super easy, very cool, and you can switch between any of those even if it's on. It's smart, it won't turn anything off that doesn't need to be off. To turn the whole system off, you have to kind of go backwards from the chain. And this is where the TV remote comes in. The only thing I'm going to be using the TV remote for is the power button. And I'm going to see if there's a custom button I can remap on the receiver remote, because to turn everything off, you just hit the power button for the TV. And that'll turn the TV off and the receiver and the external devices. It all goes back down through the HDMI chain. So you don't have to turn 3 things off. It's really cool. And the only question is the cable box going to have control or not? It's really no big deal if it doesn't. It just means it's on. I don't care if the cable box is on or off. The Apple TV stays on all the time. It's not drawing any serious power. I don't care. So it'll automatically switch to it. That's the only thing that's really important and what counts. So really excited about that. I've got some ideas for the speaker wires. Obviously, the best thing is to go in wall, but that is going to be a pain in the butt if I want to do that, primarily because my left, pretty much half that wall to the left of the system is air conditioning return duct. It goes straight up the wall and then back over the attic to the HVAC system. And I do not want to be drilling through that and through the walls, and it's just not worth it just to run a wire. The other side wouldn't be that big of a deal. I wouldn't want to go horizontally through studs. I would just go straight down and then just run it along the baseboard. But I can't even get that left speaker down the wall. I would have to go way too far out to have the right soundstage that I would want to use. So I could paint the wires red, just like they are now and just have them strung across the wall, I don't think that would look very good. I could get flat speaker wire tape, which would work, but it's really expensive, like 60 to $100 for a 50-foot roll, 100-foot roll. Just not worth it, just for a little aesthetic thing here. No, it's way too much. Plus, then you have to tape and mud the wall, and pretty much I'd end up having to repaint that whole wall, because if I just paint over that, I'm going to see the stripe of red paint. It's been too long since I painted the wall, and the paint's aged. So that's kind of off the table. Another option is I thought of going to Home Depot and finding something that is preferably black, some kind of conduit, something like anything straight that I can just double-sided tape over the wire and just make it look like it's part of the home theater system. You know, I only need like 2 feet per side just to cover the wire, just something black to blend in, or if maybe I can find something white and I could paint that red, and then I wouldn't have to mud or tape. I would just have something red, as long as it's straight and small and would look good. If that wire was able to string perfectly straight, I wouldn't have a problem with just painting the wire. But you know, it dips and it's curvy and there's no way to secure it perfectly straight to the wall. But if I could find some kind of plastic conduit or trim piece or anything that I could use, I think that'll be a really inexpensive and good looking option. So I'll see what they've got. At 8 o'clock this morning, what time is it now? It's 6:30. So at 8 o'clock, I'm going to go and swap the cable box, and then I'll hit Home Depot on the way home. And you know what? I'm going to go for a long walk first thing, because I didn't do anything the past couple days. I won't really count the shoot I did. I mean, I got a little exercise, so that really wasn't that much. So I'm going to go for a long walk. As soon as I finish this video, the sun will be up. And then I'll go do the cable box, and then I'll go to Home Depot, and then I got 2 people coming over to pick stuff up. And let's see, today's Monday. Tuesday I've got more stuff, so I'll see what else is going on today. But yep, I'll be up for a while. Hee hee. There was something else I was going to talk about. I'll remember it in a minute. I know it. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to talk about. I haven't been online much the past couple days. And this morning, I jumped on YouTube and looked at my subscriptions, and I saw one of my buddies, Cereal Marshmallows, had put up a live session that he did earlier last night. And what happens is, after you finish broadcasting the live session, it treats it like you just uploaded a video, and then puts that into your video queue, so then everybody else can see it as it aired live. So I was seeing it after he had already done it. I didn't catch him live. But it was funny because I was watching him. I watched like the first half an hour of it. He did like a 2.5 hour session. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. But it was fun to see him go through pretty much exact same stuff I did when I did my first session last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And you know, figuring out all the settings and what kind of delay there was, and to turn off your local audio. And he was playing with some of the stuff to, you know, make funny displays and everything. You know, I did all the same stuff when I tried it out. And incidentally, I am doing my next live session for Cigar Obsession. When is it? Like January 2nd. I'm doing it at 9 Eastern. So that'll give the most people a chance to see it. And I will have a much, much better quality feed. I'm going to have pretty much the same quality as you see in all my videos live, if everything goes right. I still have to test it, but I think I've got it nailed down, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, it was cool seeing somebody discover it and figure everything out. Pretty much I know exactly what he was going through. So I don't know if he watches this or just the cigar channel, but if you're seeing this, good job, buddy. Keep it up. Alright, nice cool morning. The weather's finally getting back to normal. We've got a cold front moving in, so the temps aren't going to be in the 80s anymore. Still be in the 60s and 70s, so perfect weather for me. I can see it's a little foggy and drizzly out, and I think we got some rain overnight because some stuff was wet outside. You know, I was thinking, now that I'm in the digital age and I've got HDMI connections, and even with all my stuff plugged in, I've still got 2 inputs available. there's a couple things that would be really helpful for work that I've often wanted to do. Sometimes I'll have commercial shoots and the clients are there and they like to see what I'm doing, not necessarily to supervise, but give immediate feedback. So what I end up doing is shooting tethered in the studio, which means I have the camera connected via a cable to the computer in there, and that way the shots come up as soon as I take them right on the laptop screen. And that works well enough, but the problem is the client has to be standing there in the studio, you know, kind of over my shoulder, and they're squatting down and, you know, looking at the laptop screen. It's not very comfortable for them, but more importantly, it's small. You know, it's a little laptop screen, 15, 17 inches. That's not that large to see details of your products. So I've often wanted to be able to use the TV for that. Now I couldn't do that at all with the old system. There was no connectivity for it. But now there are some options. So I'm starting to look around at stuff, and the first thing I thought of was Google's new Chromecast, which is a little HDMI, they call it a dongle, but it's really a lot more than a dongle. They make it seem like you just plug this little device into your TV and that's good to go. It's not. Oftentimes it requires an adapter, plus it requires a separate power cord, which is a big long cable with a USB end on it that you can either plug into the TV, but then that kills the auto power on or off, or you can plug it into a wall adapter for USB power, which is just another thing to have to, you know, find a plug for and route the cable. It's not a clean little solution like they make it seem. So it becomes just like any other device, whether it's an Apple TV or a Roku or a cable box, you know. So the cool thing about that is, and it's designed to compete with all that kind of stuff. So you've got Netflix and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But one thing it does is called tab mirroring. And basically you can use your Chrome browser on a computer or a tablet or a phone and put up on the TV whatever you have in your browser tab. And that's exactly what I want for another thing. Sometimes I'll have clients over and I want to show them the website, or I want to show them a slideshow, or, you know, just screens that are on the web. And before, what I've had to do is have custom slideshows made and stored in the Apple TV, and they just play the photos. You know, that's part of what I want to show people, but there's been times when I want to interact with my website, go to certain blog posts, go back and forward and bring up pictures, you know, just interact with the clients a lot more. And I couldn't do that. I would have to sit next to them and show them on a laptop. And again, small screen, not the best option. So the feature I was really interested in is just using it for that tab mirroring. But turns out it's not exactly smooth. What happens is basically your computer turns into a broadcaster sending live data over your Wi-Fi network to the Chromecast device. And looking at reviews and videos of it working on YouTube, not impressed. There's a lag time, it's jumpy, it's not like just mirroring something and having it work exactly like it is on your display that you're working on. So that doesn't really entice me too much. Now the other option is I have the new Apple TV now. I told you there are pros and cons to both the old and the new one. The old one I had because I didn't have a choice. Because my TV was so old, didn't have HDMI, and more importantly, it was a 1080i TV, not a 1080p. They only made 1080i TVs for a couple years. It was when HD was brand new, and flat panels were brand new. There were hardly any out. So they came out with these 1080i TVs, and at the time it was marginally better than 720p. 720p flat panels were just coming out. They didn't have any 1080p yet. They were just too expensive. It was a new technology. That's how old this TV was. So the old Apple TV supported eye displays, so it worked with my TV. And like I said in an earlier video, I'd gotten, I think it was the second generation Apple TV at the time. Never even occurred to me they would drop support for 1080i, but they did. So it only worked with basically flat panel TVs or DLPs. They were still being produced at the time too. So I had to return it and go back to my first gen, and that was fine. I just stuck with it. But now, because I have the, I think it's third, I think they're on the third, maybe the fourth generation, whatever, the current Apple TV, it has support for Apple's version of that called AirPlay, which basically mirrors anything on an Apple device, an iPhone, which I have here, or an iPad, or I believe a MacBook, and we've got those too, but I'd primarily be using my phone here because the other two are the wife's. And that works very seamlessly. So it basically, in the case of this iPhone, just puts up a little image of the iPhone, whatever you're doing, right up on the screen. And that works very fluidly. So I think I'm going to test it when I get home, because I've got that. That just should work. I just have to turn the feature on. I think that'll work very beautifully for having clients over and showing them the website and browsing stuff and bringing up blog posts. I think that's going to work really well. And then I'll just look for another solution to getting the images when I'm shooting right over to the TV. There might be another solution. I don't think I have anything built in that can do it, but there's probably something fairly inexpensive that I can get and add that'll let me do that. And I'll tell you what, that is going to be a time saver and a money maker. So anything that does either one of those, I'm all for. Because I'll tell you, feedback like that with the client there, that is really important. It definitely helps things out. So I will be trying to do that first chance I get. But it is about 8 o'clock now. I'm going to finish the walk here. Whew. I got to do more workouts. Kind of slacked off here a bit. Shouldn't be getting winded just going for a walk. That's pretty bad. I did weigh myself the other day, and I'm still in the 240s, so I'm not gaining weight or anything. But I'm not losing either. I'm honestly happy in the 240s, have to say. I mean, I'm at a size that I like, 36 pants. I'm at my high school size, so you know, I'm very happy with the way the past almost year has turned out. And you know, for what, the past 4 months now, I've basically stayed the same. I'm not going to count Thanksgiving, but that weight came right back off with my normal routine here. So, you know, this is, if I just continue everything I'm doing right now, which I can do, and that's the entire point of HLO, is to do nothing out of the ordinary, permanent, easy changes, and that's exactly what happened. Bam. You know, what am I down? 40 pounds. Kept it off easily, almost a year now. I'm all for that. So I'm going to finish this walk, go over to swap the cable box, head on over to Home Depot on the way home, and hopefully clean up the wires there and be good to go. New, upgraded, faster cable box. Check. Back at good old Home Depot. Not exactly sure what I'm looking for, but I'll know it when I see it, that's for sure. Bingo, bango, got it. These are white plastic strips, and they're about 4 feet long each. They're two pieces. It's like a channel design. There's a back piece that screws onto the wall, and then a curved clamshell shaped piece that slides over top, and you just hide wires inside. So I'm going to cut them down to size. I probably only need about 2.5 feet each, and then I'm just going to paint the top piece red, match the wall with the leftover paint, and that will be perfect. Oh, they were $9 each. Can't beat that. There we are. Fourth coat is drying. I'm going to let these set up for a good couple hours before I go and handle them. And I'm going to go ahead and mount the base plates they snap onto. And I won't even have to trim them. I moved the speakers out just a few inches, and now they both fit absolutely perfectly. They'll just about meet in the middle, right behind the TV. So that will look beautiful. And of course it's going to blend right into the wall because it's the same paint. Haha! And there she is. All done up, looking pretty, everything in place. Everything set up, configured, good to go. You only see those bars so vividly here because I got those overhead lights on just because I need it for the video. But when you turn the lights off, they really blend in well, and they're going to blend in a little bit better after the paint dries. That's 4 coats on there, and it'll match after just a couple of days. I remember the walls being a little bit brighter right away, but you can see it blends right in there. I gotta dust that grate I just noticed. So to fire it up here, got the receiver remote, and I programmed in 3 of the memories. First one will launch Blu-ray, second one cable TV, third one Apple TV, so it will turn on the receiver and the input, like the Blu-ray if it needs it, and the TV, and sync up everything with one button. There you go. I noticed the TV takes a little bit of time to come on. It's probably a lot of stuff it's doing. I've never had experience with plasmas before. There you go, and it's all set with the right settings, and you can customize all the sound fields and everything. I just have it straight through on all the stuff. And then you can switch on the fly. You can either use the regular input selectors, or you can just use these because they're just like total memories, and it knows if the stuff is on or off. So you can switch over to cable.
Like activity that used to go on here.
You can switch over to the Blu-ray, and now it turns on the Blu-ray automatically. If there's a disc in there, it fires it up. I think she probably has one of her exercise DVDs in there. Yep. So we'll go back to Apple TV. Don't need any copyright things going on my account. Alright, and then to turn it off, for now, I have to use the TV remote or hit the button on the TV, and I just hit power, and it turns everything off backwards. TV, any external device, and receiver. So that is super simple. What I want to do is see if there's a button on the receiver remote that I can custom program and make that a TV power button. And that way I could turn everything off from this remote too. And I wouldn't need the TV remote for anything, because right now that's the only thing I use it for. And this also handles all the Blu-ray controls too. We don't need the Blu-ray remote for anything. We've got all the buttons down here. So the only other remotes we use are the cable TV remote, because it has all the controls for the cable box, which is fine. I mean, I don't watch TV that much, but it's no big deal. This is what we did before. And then the Apple TV remote, and that's just for watching movies through the Apple TV, so not a big deal there either, but you can see a universal remote could make short work of all of that. But yeah, super happy. Everything worked out perfectly. I love the way it looks. Love the way it sounds. It's a lot cleaner. We get a lot of space back. You know, here's the old TV. That is just a beast. It's so thick. I mean, look how deep that is. You know, from the wall. Even with the shelves sticking out, we got several inches reclaimed. Look how thin that is. It's only a 2-inch thick screen. And it's perfectly balanced on this. I mean, you can just barely touch it, pivot it. It's real nice. Love the picture quality. Definitely recommend it to anybody. If you're in the market for one right now, you can snag it. Walmart's still got them. Even without the $50 gift card, these are closing out at $6.48. You don't need any special coupon or anything. Just ask for them. They're not out in the showrooms because they're being discontinued. But check online, check the store status, and just ask them to get one from the back. My guy didn't even know the store had them. He wanted to get one for himself. So there you go. Very nice. That's weird. I can see the flicker in the phone here as it's recording. Shutter speed must be dragging a little bit to pick up the light. Alright. Well, I can finally upload to YouTube. It's been stuck all day. I finally got a video through for one of my other channels. So I'm going to try to edit this one and get it pushed through. See you guys tomorrow.